Oi, oi. T minus 2-7 away from a cheeky FP2. And again, it's circumstances, it's chaos. It is, for the avoidance of doubt, F1. You know what? At first, what's going on, Micah J? Formerly Analog Mars MV33 from Texas. Let's go. Bloody Nora, that's that hard work, dedication. Charles, you're a legend. Thank you for becoming an elite peddler. If I can enunciate properly in the first order, guys are legends. Let me say this. You know what? I was going to say this still a little bit later. Look at me, bloody paranoid about the old receding hairline. It happens to all of us. Grow old gracefully, therefore, Cameron. T minus 2-6 now. I want to say this first order priority. You heard the old Red Bull. I've wanted to go scorched earth on this Red Bull mechanic, the one that they call the Nicholas that Callums for the longest time. I heard apparently on the F1 TV broadcast he was talking about a different engine mode, and that's why Sonoda-san was so close to Max Verstappen. Well, once upon a time, all the chat was about fiddle brake, inertia valve settings. And my guy, friend of the channel, Peter Windsor, called it out, to which the Red Bull mechanic said, no, nonsense, what the F do you know? I'm working on the car, so I wouldn't. Well, there is a thing called agency, and if you've got a mortgage to pay, then you will tell a lie at the altar of keeping employment. No, sometimes. I rate Peter Windsor for calling that out, because it made sense when you look at it logically at the time. All of a sudden, Red Bull were brilliant, no understeer. A brake issue that Brembo said, you know what, had nothing to do with us. That's something about the way that Red Bull are setting up the car. And then all of a sudden, it was understeer settings they're running last year, to which the mechanic said, no, absolute nonsense. How dare you be so logical? But then again, there is such a thing of abbots of unreason. And then we fast forward to today, and it looks like Sonoda-san's done a worldly right, that he looks quick, nothing if not a tenth and a half adrift from Max Verstappen, when all of the other bods named Lawson and Perez and Albon and Gasly couldn't get within 5/10 of the four soon-to-be five-time champion. That's noteworthy, right? This isn't me getting ahead of station and saying Sonoda-san is going to be a world champion this year, but not a bad start from the Japanese. Do you know what I mean? To which the Nicholas that Callums, the Red Bull engineer, now ambassador, says, well, no, they're probably on different engine modes. Well, Christian Horner said, what are you on about, Callum Nicholas? They weren't on different engine modes. That comes on a team principle of the Bulls that are red. So what are we doing here, Russell P1? Much I couldn't wake up for the first practice session. Said, like, mate, you've got to get that sleep much. When it comes, you know what I mean? You've got to embrace it. Because sleep is a rare commodity these days, rarer than truffles. T minus 4 minutes, brake bias -5. Oh, Nico, it's chaos. I just wanted to get that out of the way. I heard you guys telling me that Nicholas said that different engine mode. Well, your old boss said it wasn't the different engine mode, that Sonoda-san and Max Verstappen were on the same engine mode. So how about them apples, Nicholas? I would get into selective DEI, etc. But again, that's too agency bias for me, or agency theory for me. Too early on in the stream for me to go scorched earth. You know what I mean? I couldn't tolerate it. Look at the old receding airline, Cameron. I've got to do something about this. I think the time is soon coming for me to just zero all over. Do you know what I mean? Military cut settings. MCL struggling. How come, sir? I don't think MCL were struggling. I think the only thing that MCL are struggling for, man. So I did a bit of a deep dive afterwards. You know, your boy Cameron likes to do some due diligence. And when you look at it, sector times, Lando was fastest in sector 1 and sector 2. Sector 3 struggled for whatever reason. Maybe it was I feel like they failed in FP1 at the altar of two things: due diligence and poor execution. If Lando Norris could have hooked up himself a sector 3, you'd have been gone clear. Let me show you what I mean, or try and tell you what I mean. So look, Lando sector 1, 30.820, a tenth quicker than Fernando Plan Alonso, who did a 30.895. Lando in sector 2, I'm just looking at the fastest sector times, by the way, that 40.1. Sector 2 from Lando and Norris as versus King George Russell of Kingsley and Norfolk, who did a 40.14. Half a tenth is the difference. So cumulatively, therefore, over the first two sectors, Norris is 0.15 up on the rest of the field. Only then in Sector 3, because Lando was struggling, instability at the rear, is Lando way down 17.6 as versus 17.4 for Kimi Antonelli. Oscar Piastri in Sector 3 is the fastest McLaren in FP1 with a 17.5, so they're only a tenth of a drift. So I think once Lando Norris hooks up himself a Sector 3, again, McLaren have the whip hand in terms of time, absolute pace around the Suzuka circuit. But again, execution's the only thing that can hold them back, eh? I think they have the quickest car too much. Like when you check it out, you know what I mean? Process over outcomes. It's very easy, and I know Umach, you're not like this, and this is the reason why you ask this question. But it's very easy to look at the headline times and say, well, McLaren are struggling. They looked a bit unstable. Instability at the rear was their lot in FP1. But once they tinker with their setups and manage for that, and again at the altar of a couple of different central tenets being your aero map, your ride heights. There's another one that I always forget. Aero map, ride heights. There's something else. I've forgotten it. Whatever. Engine map? No, I don't think so. Come on, I'm 24. My hairline completely gone already, mate. Better than Jay. It happens to all of us, right? I tell you what, I'm not loving though. I need to get this like a bit more straight. Oh, whatever. You got to be a bit self-deprecating sometimes. RRJ, check out 230 hours in that car. Liam said, no, I agree with you, RRJ. Not apples and apples. It's only FP2, but I am here for it as well, Jomo. Do you know what I mean? Yuki will have the haters and doubters looking twice after this week. I know, true. Making believers out of skeptics, converting skeptics into believers. Micah, Yuki doesn't need to win a championship. He has to be a good Robin. That's what Christian just said, eh? Christian was just saying, listen, we need this is what we need. Potentially we should have done this earlier. And that's why they couldn't afford to keep Liam Lawson. Because it felt like Liam Lawson said Christian Horner would get there at some point. But why they didn't have, per Liam Lawson, last race weekend is time. This is a preparation race. Race to the top. Even 137 of you in the chat. Super Max, Abdur. Let me tell you about Max. I was thinking about Max in the time between P1, FP1 and now. I would contend that you kind of want somebody in the car alongside Max Verstappen that can challenge him, because that's when you see Max. I think, speculation and conjecture, I think that's when you'll see Max at his fire-breathing best. My supposition. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. This is Suzuka or Sparta. Let's go, Wayne. You're a legend. Of course, they were fast, but still struggling. Last chicane, 100% Umach. You've nailed it. There was something in Sector 3, and we saw the footage of Lando struggling ever so slightly in the last chicane, or the chicane in Sector 3. It is the last chicane, isn't it? It is. Yeah, so it's going to be. Can't wait. Roll, come on, man. Stop like T-18. Let's go. I'm here for FP2. I swear. Stay back from the headboard. Oh no, it's chaos. It is chaos. Even when he's fighting Charles Leclerc for position, convinced that's just racing ball under Japanese livery. Well, to be fair, Nico, if you go back and watch FP1, FP1 was a good session. Nothing really happened worthy of note, I would contend. However, there were a lot of onboard shots of Tsunoda-san, Anthony Davidson getting his Max-splaining hands out and trying to translate in layman terms what we were seeing. I think you can see that the RB21 is very twitchy. You could see how mercurial it was. When Tsunoda-san started pushing it, you could see it's super tail happy through the quick stuff, which is where it's bloody scary. Medium to high speed is the epitome. That's what characterises. That's what makes Suzuka different as far as a automotive pugilism proposition. It is medium speed. It is 130, and then you've got the Degna. Like, do you know what I mean? It's chaos as far as a track. So if if you lose it on one of those, it's chaos. If you're Liam Lawson in that RB21, then you're fearing for your life because you lack the ability to wade in the very murky waters that is a car on the limit of its traction limits. Liam Lawson doesn't have that in his locker. Could barely break traction during the show run, for Pete's sake, at very low speeds where you'd argue it's easiest to do so. When you're doing it at 150 miles per hour, it's different, right? The stakes are higher. Heart in the mouth time. So if you can't do it at at 5 miles an hour, what chance do you stand at doing it at 150? And therein lies the paradox that is Liam Lawson. That's why they had to get rid of him. You saw Christian Horner last race pointing to the bloody timing screens, right? He'd seen something, they'd seen something, the engineers had seen something that told them that Liam Lawson was going to take longer than the time they had to get to grips with the very techie, mercurial handling dynamic of that RB21. He was nibbling at the edges, not taking bite-sized chunks out of it as you'd expect from a Red Bull Racing driver. But I digress. 205 of you in the chat, did you guys talk about Yuki not wanting Max's advice because he thinks I did? I made a video about it yesterday, Rafa. No way. Tsunoda-san said this about Max Verstappen. So for those of you unacquainted with the circumstance, Yuki was asked the question whether he would be leveraging Max Verstappen's, whether he'd asked for Max Verstappen's counsel and feedback as far as setups and the handling dynamic of the car, to which Tsunoda-san responded, absolutely not. I might tap Max Verstappen on his back and ask him, and he probably wouldn't even answer me. I need to plough my own mechanical aerodynamic setup for therefore, because our driving styles are different. Yuki Tsunoda went on to expand and say that he'd been in a simulator and he saw that the car was difficult, temperamental, but not as difficult as they say. But again, there's a difference sometimes, a disconnect even between practice and theory. Therefore, he reserved judgment. Mileage may vary. Let me see how I get on tomorrow, he said in FP1. And he didn't look too bad. A tenth and a half between Max Verstappen and Tsunoda-san. And forget all this nonsense about different engine modes, because Christian Horner has directly contradicted the nonsense from that bloody Red Bull mechanic. On about now on the F1 TV again, he's not a pit crew member anymore, but now an ambassador of Red Bull Racing, and so too apparently guest host or guest colour commentator of F1 TV, which is chaos, which is absolutely chaos. Yuki answered correctly, very politically correct. Yeah, can drinking from an invisible, but imagine it. That's why you're a genius, Genie. Yeah, this is just aloe vera. It's Japanese. The Japanese contingent come out, don't they? In a T-minus 13 minutes. Oof. Go on then, Liam. Looks cold. It's cold in Japan, eh? Look at them with their jackets on. The wind migrating its way through Naomi Schiff's hair. Huh. Naomi Schiff says nobody expected Yuki Tsunoda to come out and be so close to Max. This is the truth. Japan loves Max and they obviously love Luke. I think Japan loves fast drivers, you know. And because Max has been the guy for the past 3 years, as near as 4 years even, as near as makes no difference, then of course, excuse me, they're going to love him. Do you hear that? Choo choo, all aboard the Yukinator hype train. It is hype train. Aaron says, Genie, I'm only 6 seasons in, or is it 7 seasons from COVID Drive to Survive? Cam, you can't focus on Max setups and stuff. He's way too good and too extreme. It might not even work on any other driver. Genius. I think you make the sound point, the pertinent one. Tsunoda senpai. Let's go. Red Bull is desperately waiting for Spain. True. Too much. Once flexi-wing changes come in. But then it's weird because I keep hearing contradicting statements on that. First it was First, the rumour, the word on the F1 curb, if that's something in which you can be invested, was that Red Bull had put all of their time and financial resource into developing a new flexi wing for the existing rule and reg spec. Therefore, they wouldn't want an additional technical directive to undo for all that hard work. That was the chat. And now all of a sudden it was, therefore, alluding to the aforementioned point, it was McLaren that lobbied the FIA with a view to undo all of Red Bull's hard work and unwind some of their durable competitive, which doesn't even make sense. I don't know. And then you hear the next theory that it was Red Bull who lobbied the FIA for the change in the way that they're going to treat and measure for, test for flexi wings. It's like, hang on, what's going on? Yuki Tsunoda, the crowd are out for him, aren't they? This is Tsunoda-san country here, and I don't hate it. And listen, here's hoping it goes well. It would be brilliant for Formula One, I'll tell you that much. It will be spectacular if Yuki-san, Tsunoda-san, can do well here. Yuki getting the seat. Tsunoda hasn't got this much attention ever. Feels weird to go from seeing only 10 guys in Yuki fandom to everybody. No, everybody's only. Can Michael or Lewis, in your personal opinion? Michael or Lewis? I think it depends on the lens through which you assess them, right? If you're talking about the greatest, I think the greatest is a very different conversation from the best, right? It's hard not to defer to Michael, him being the first, him being the dude that revolutionised the way in which these dudes like approach their health, both physical and mental. It's tough. It's tough not to defer to Michael. When Michael first came along, I never seen any. If you're talking about the greatest, as far as like seminal driver, 2000 to 2004, what he did with Ferrari. I mean, he could have stayed at Benetton. That was the line of least resistance, right? But he chose to take on a new challenge and bring Ferrari kicking and screaming back to the mountaintop. If Lewis wins an 8th, it's hard. It would be hard, therefore, to argue against Lewis's being the greatest. I think Lewis is probably the best driver that I've ever seen, fastest. And maybe it depends on the parameters. Do you know what I mean? It does depend on your parameters, Abdur. Maybe if you're talking about statistically, then Lewis has all of them, right? You would argue that he's the greatest, but I think just because of the impact at the time, and you've got to defer to Michael maybe being the first to I don't know. I can see an argument for Michael being the greatest. The best, though, Lewis Hamilton in his heyday, I mean, flipping Nora. Between the two of them. Best, I mean, by best, I'm talking who beats who in their prime in the same car. So it's goat-est and best are very different. Caroline, how you doing? Australia, lovely Friday here. Come on, Oscar, and well done, Yuki. Bravo, Caroline. I don't disagree with any of the aforementioned sentiments. Yuki has been next level. Yuki not getting the seat with so much experience and finally getting it turned although he's a bit of an anti-hero, hasn't he? He's like Abdur, I hate Lewis, but a guy with 105 wins and 104 poles is easily the gate. Why do so many people hate Lewis Hamilton? Genius. Non-rhetorical question. Looks cold. It does look very cold. Hello from Australia. Read that one out. Michael, best. Lewis, greatest. You reversed it, hybrid. I see what you've done there. Interesting. We come at the same argument from different POVs. Oh, I'm a Red Bull fan now, I guess. Michael for me says Abdur, he did stuff that nobody did. I get it. You gotta I understand it. I mean, you can argue either way, right? It's not miles between them, it's millimeters. Either which way. Mercedes were dominant. Who was more malicious? Michael, 1000%. Lewis lost to his teammates. Ugh, we're getting into it already. Fangio, the greatest in my opinion. Senna, Schumacher up there too, says Caroline. Just a player. who overcommits, chips in a poker hand, convinced that they have their edge. Red Bull is betting big on their flexible changes for Spain, but is that confidence truly justified? I think, Umanch, I would see that and raise you this, that Red Bull's gift for me has always been the fact that they understand when they're the underdog and know when and how to play a joker. Mention no names, Abu Dhabi 21, right? A cheeky pit stop for a brand new set of red labelled soft compound tyres. Timely, brave, bold. They understand the risk to reward calc and make the adjustments in. That's always been their gift. They race hard, of course, but it's the timeliness with which they play that joker. That's always been their gift. They do. I think it's Hannah Schmitz, you know. She just understands what time it is. When they've got limited downside, they stack the odds in their favour by angling for the upside accordingly. Do you know what I mean? It's Lewis if they're great, but they're both legendary. Yeah, fair. To be honest, Michael and Lewis is in a whole separate tier and everybody else is tiered down, potentially. I missed FP1. How did Yuki do? Hybrid, he weren't too bad. I expected him to be, for a while there, he was a second adrift, and then all of a sudden he put in a lap that was 0.15 shy of Maximilian Verstappen. Oh, the humanity indeed. And what's more, again, if processes is your focus, as it should be over outcomes, then he looked comfortable in the car. Like his feedback, he wasn't, it felt like he was I feel like he was over egging the stoicism pie. That's not Yuki Tsunoda. Nobody's going to tell me that that is Yuki Tsunoda. He was being almost too calm, too collected, like to where you'd raise and ask questions, right? But overall, he looked bloody quick and he looked like he was very comfortable wading through the very murky waters of an RB20 that's in and of the verge, on the edge, almost in perpetuity. He looks like he can handle a car that lives for traction limits and breaking them. Therefore, I think Tsunoda will be all right. You know, I don't think this is the end of the story. I don't think he'll keep it on the island every single session between now and race 24. I think that would be too ambitious, reachy. But I mean, I think he's, as far as an opening gambit, if this is like phase one of the game, then he hasn't. Listen, I think he's played well. He looked good. He looked better than most expected him to. And Christian Horner contended that, listen, that's exactly what we need from him. By the way, Yuki Tsunoda, I don't want to say that he's misread the assignment. He's a Red Bull Racing driver, which means they can promote and demote him as they please. That's part of his contract. However, pre-race or pre-Japanese Grand Prix, he was talking all this stuff about, listen, Christian Horner's promised me that I won't necessarily have to obey team orders if I'm in front of Max, etc. Well, mate, Christian Horner came out after the FP1 and said, listen, we're playing our hand to Max Verstappen's upside. That's our advantage as far as the rest. McLaren, etc. Ferrari too. Both of them have got two number one drivers, so it's hard to know on which side their bread is butters. T-minus 4 minutes away, 5.8 kilometres is the distance, 314 kilometres per hour top speed, 40.4 metres elevation. I'm sure I've already seen that track, that 330 kilometres, something like that is how much Max Verstappen took through the speed trap. So too, Yuki Tsunoda. So I don't know where all this engine mode nonsense is coming from your F1 TV commentators nonsense agency. What are we talking about? 5 years in F1, you learn a thing or two, Cam. He's been calm since 2024 Bahrain and has been seeing psychologists for a while. I know, genius. I saw it the Max Verstappen documentary, The Anatomy of a Champion. All they talked about as soon as Yuki Tsunoda was on track or on camera even was about him getting help. Do you know what I mean? Seeing a psychologist, which I don't think is a bad thing, especially in 2025. Do you know what I mean? In fact, on the contrary, you'd guess that there was competitive advantage in there. No, of course there is. You know what I mean? Adrian, and here we are again. Stay blessed. Marie, Yuki did pretty damn good, eh? Can you imagine? Who knew? Well, listen, the proof will be in the paid session puddings. I want to see what he does in quali. and more specifically Q3. He needs to get through there. I mean, there's lots of racing to be raced, right? Between now and we can announce Tsunoda-san as the second coming. I'd love to. I'll tell you what I'll say. T-minus 2 minutes before we get the start of an FP2, an all-important one, seminal even as far as the career that is the one that they call Tsunoda-san. Here's what I will say. Rejoice, F1 fans. This is a good time. We can suspend our disbelief between now and Q1 and rejoice in the fact that Tsunoda, at the very least, has himself a chance to prove his worth to the bulls that are red. I mean, rewind only 2 to 3 months ago, and it felt like the end of Tsunoda-san's career, right? This would indeed be it, because Honda won't be a part of the Red Bull equation at the end of this year. So where was Tsunoda-san going to go? Aston Martin. What, you think Lawrence Stroll was going to have him supersede his son Lot? Absolutely not. This potentially could have been Tsunoda-san's last year. And into that equation breathes life one Liam Lawson by dint of his underperformance. Do you know what I mean? Japanese fans, they're not half bad, eh? Match. They go hard. Imagine a world where McLaren falls off and it's Yuki and Max for the WDC. I can total recall that, mate. It's not. Listen, my crystal ball is as murky as the next person's. Do you know what I mean? Early one, Pope San Miguel. Very, very, very early. 268 if you're watching concurrently. Do me a favour and smash the like. We are T-minus 1 minute away from a cheeky FP2 at the third round of the 2025 season. Oh, the humanity, and I'm here for it. Right, let's get some. And again, the metrics that you're about to see on your screen brought to you by the lads over at Multiview. Anthony Davidson being very complimentary of Yuki Tsunoda's laps in FP1. I mean, who expected... He's done well, hasn't he, to be so close to the one they call Maximilian Verstappen so early on. I mean, take that. It's not a bad look in the first instance, at least. A lot of work to be done still, yet and still. You can't declare him 2025 champ, not just yet, at least. Nor can you declare him the worthy equal of one Maximilian Verstappen. Not just yet. Not just yet. Let's chill out with that for a minute. That train hasn't left the station just yet. But was that a valid effort from Tsunoda-san first time round? 100,000%. You bet your bottom dollar it was. Chaos settings. I didn't expect that. Car's difficult to drive. Remember, Liam Lawson, Checo Perez, Alex Albon, mouse sensitivity on 1,000 gazillion trillion. Now his name is Antonelli. Michael, Liam won't score a point this season. I think we're being a bit harsh on him. I think we're being a bit harsh on Liam there. Just a little, just a tingy bit harsh. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to sound the Liam Lawson death knell just yet either. That would be just as foolhardy, would it not? I think that would be just as foolhardy. Right, again, for the avoidance of doubt, all of what you see on your screen, left and right, if you want to download yourself a multi-viewer app and attach to that, tack onto that a cheeky F1 TV access subscription, and you are good to go, chat. And again, you can get much more than what I'm showing you over here. Speed trap, maximal velocities, tyre histories, it's all in there, chat. I'm telling you, it's a different level. A different level. Right, let me see what's going on. T-minus 58 minutes on the docket, 23 seconds. It's going to be interesting. Long runs as well. I saw some... let me have a look at what the long runs were saying. Because again, this is what's important here. During free practice, who's going quickest through the long runs? And I saw some data, didn't I? Where's this data? And we'll talk about... In fact, we may as well talk about upgrades now. Where are these long runs? 207 of you watching concurrently. Do me a favour and smash the like, please. It is important. Oh no, it's all gone wrong for the one that they call Carlos Sainz again. issue with the car. Come on. Go on then. Long runs on the medium tyre. Daniel Vellante, legend of Twitter, at F1 Guy. He has it, the long runs. Okay, here's what we know. On the long runs, Lando Norris has the whip hand again on a 133.3. 0.4 rounded up. Same for Oscar Piastri. Only a couple hundredths in it between the two. Leclerc on a 133.5 average. Lewis Hamilton on a 133.7 average. Russell on a 133.4. So again, it's Lando and the McLarens, then it's Oscar, and then it's George, and then it's looking like the Ferraris. Those are you runners and riders. Oh, and by the way, if you're talking about the quickest in absolute terms, it looks like it's Lando. Lando was quickest through sector 1 and sector 2, but they struggled in sector 3. It was the chicane that was unravelling for their progress. I think it's going to get to... And then for the avoidance of that, another cheeky stat, Max Verstappen doesn't do too badly around here past his pro. Like, every time he finishes, he's on the podium. 1 DNF in the past few years. But the rest of the time, podium settings. And if it rains, as indicates the probability on Sunday, early morning Sunday, then all bets are off as far as Max Verstappen and Sir Lewis Hamilton is concerned. The two Reagan Meisters proper. Any memories from Suzuka 2006? This is the Alonso year, isn't it? Is this the Alonso? Yeah, Alonso year on Schumacher. 130R. Michael has more to lose than me. Alonso was a fight. Alonso was a... Oh, look at Tsunoda straight away. 130.6. Say it how you mean it. Tsunoda, as Isaac Hajar says, Yuki, I'll see you that and raise you this. Goes a 130.3 on the medium compound tyres. Morning, Coyote. Top of the... Yes, keep the sports story going strong, Aaron says. Race. It is all about the race ultimately, eh, Wayne? That's all that we're talking about here. Wind was blowing too. Go on then. Track conditions. 23.4 kilometres coming in from the west. That's nothing to be sniffed at. Track temperature 33.7. Ambiance 13.9. All in the degrees Celsius. What are you sipping on? A cheeky aloe. It was aloe vera originally, but I waxed that off yesterday, so I've filled it up with water just to keep myself... do you know what I mean? Keep myself hydrated. If you think his face doesn't have anything to do with most of the criticism, you've been living under a rock. Of what might you be talking, Wayne? What could you possibly be talking about, sir? Rock and roll, Wayne. Lawson P1. Oh, no. Well, Lewis Hamilton is P1 for now. Here we go. George Russell goes top of your timing charts on a 129.666. Pathetic fallacy, any. Some will say that George Russell is indeed Lucifer reincarnate, two-faced. I don't know about that. Having a look at Lando Norris going through here. Car looks planted, mate. Medium speed. I mean, that MCL 3.9, if there are any waters in which that car wants to wade, it's medium to high speed now. 31.2 from Lando Norris. Goes green, set to 1. Let's keep an eye on that. Make the onboard Big Sky Sports internationally syndicated broadcast. I want to see. Yeah, there we go. Have you guys seen that they've the onboard, the T-cams now zoomed out? They're using the technology that the F1 film did, so it looks quicker. Now it looks like the tracks, the lens is wider, so it looks like you get the proper. The perspective of speed is like dramatically enhanced from what we're used to, right? Have you guys noticed this? Purple sector from Lando Norris, sector 2, 40.779. He's onto it. Go on, and all eyes on. Oh, for fuck's sake! Excuse my language, Jack Doohan. Come on, Jack. Just as we were going to get a vista, where's he gone off? First corner, so we're still going to get a sector from Lando then, unless he gets yellowed. Red flagged, for fudge's sake, Jack. I wanted to see the true pace of Lando. What a clown. I'm rooting for Jack. I am secretly, but I feel like he's just denied us at the first fist into the true pace of the MCL39 in the hands of Lando and Norris, and I'm frustrated. Yeah, no, I think it might be, yeah, Colapinto. Oh, man. Leave stage left, or leave stage right, Jack Doohan. Enter stage left, Franco Colapinto. Yeah, we're having a look. I think he's okay. F1 Flotsam and Jetsam. Bruh. Jack Doohan's out the car. He's all good, and that's always the priority, right? But for fudge's sake, selfishly, I just wanted to see what time Lando was going to do. Oh, I'm so annoyed. Can Lando do? So the question that we need asking, as at 7:09 in the AM's British Standard Time, the 4th of the 4th, 2025. I want to know whether Lando has a Sector 3 in himself. I think that's, if they can nail a Sector 3, if Lando in particular can nail a Sector 3, all bets are off. McLaren, MCL39, Lando and Oscar have the whip hand, therefore. By the way, chat, let me say again, thank you ad infinitum in extremis for your guys' support, your industry moderators extraordinaire, always in there. That car is finished, OG Zilla. Can you imagine being an engineer? No raving for you tonight. You best get your glad rags on and roll up your sleeves, chat. Long night to rebuild that car. Sayonara. What is wrong with me and my enunciation? It must be the lack of sleep. Sayonara, says Lou. One of my favourite new parts. I know, I like him. He's a hustler, is Jack Doohan. But I mean, there's only so many times you can make me say that's his first big well, he crashed in Australia too, didn't he? But I mean, he looks okay. No, he's good. He's good. Sayonara. Huh. Seat warmer. Oh, Aaron. Way to kick a man when he's down, eh? T-minus 15 minutes left on the docket. Norris called Alpine to say we cannot know the McLaren pace, whatever it takes. He definitely has a concussion. Won't be in tomorrow. He looks a bit worse for the wear, doesn't he? Go on then. Hirokawa. Looks serious, doesn't he, that Hirokawa chap? Techier than techie things, Michael. Musa says, damn, man, looking at the skid mark on the track, it looks like the car slipped up on him from the rear. Standard settings. That's always been his Achilles heel, right? Very edgy. Same thing as Liam. I mean, you got to... Ethan, you're a legend. Thank you too much. What is wrong with you, Cameron? Go on, let's have a look at the onboard of the Jack Doohan incident. In all likelihood, snap oversteer settings. I think you guys are right. Oh, turn one. Trying to straight line the corner too much, and he's put a left wheel on the white stuff, on the white line / gravel. You got to be precise with that. Good morning. Hope everyone is good. Who had a crash? Jack Doohan yeeted it into the barrier. Turn one. Been a bit ambitious there. I don't know if he put. I don't know if that's Jack Doohan's fault. Oh, you just let go? It didn't even look like an accident, really. Oh, Anthony D saying it might have bottomed out. Walking like I spent the night with the... Oh, no, Micah. Quick, put Hirokawa back in. They need to rebuild themselves a car first stage. He's in a bro. Looks like he didn't do anything. Well, no, I agree with you. Just let go, Michael. Looked like he let go. Bottomed out, Anthony D says. DRS fail. Oof. I know, that's a big hit, chat. That is a big hit, to be fair. Do I want to talk about Lando whilst we're off? The F1 community sometimes leaves me aghast. Do you know what I mean? Askance for their lack of sensibility. It's incredible sometimes. But again, partisanship is a good thing, right? I would argue sometimes that the footballification of Formula One He's just a synonym for an injection, a much needed injection of passion, some would say. You know what I mean? And I understand that. I don't even hate it necessarily, but with that comes an unhealthy dose of ignorance, of the willful variety. One of these. Oh, I can't possibly see all of this. I don't know what you're talking. And of course, I'm talking about Lando Norris. His quote that the advantage for McLaren is that they've got the best drivers, something to that effect. The race ran with it as a quote, to which the Twitter sphere was like, oh, "How very dare the race misquote Lando Norris and twist his word with knaves for fools." And like, what? Them are the words that he said. Like, what are we doing? It just makes no sense. I don't know why these people are. I don't know. You just can't even. They are not. Never should they be allowed to use scissors, if that's the extent to which they can avert their gaze from the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. It's ridiculous. And I can't be party to it. Not now, not ever. Shame that Lando Norris was on a bloody hot lap. Purple sector 40.7. I wanted to see whether he was going to be able to navigate for that final sector with aplomb, or whether he was going to fail again. Have I not been subscribed? Let's go, Yuki, Dominica Republic. You're an absolute legend. Hit that subscribe button. Oh, and by the way, whilst we're red flagged, let me tell you about a couple things. Merch store now back online. You'll see all of our sexy products underneath. Look, listen, there's a Sonoda Sun top. Even if I do say so myself, not a bad. It's not a bad top. That. A lot of work's gone into that. I want to design merch that I would want to wear. Do you know what I mean? That looks cool enough for me to put on my back. Sonoda-san, like the video, exactly that. Hates, you're a legend. So get involved in the merch if indeed that is your tipple. The Sonoda-san top. Chef's kiss. Even if I do say so myself, looking to build a market-leading merch store. Do you know what I mean? I keep seeing football merch that I don't even watch football anymore, but football merch so cool, so nostalgic that I would want to buy. And that's what we're looking to do out here. Hopefully you guys can see the merch shelf underneath this video, and you can shop it if indeed you want to. And if you want to become an elated peddler, then hit that join button. Discord, sexy emojis, and something else. Priority in the chat each and every single time. And brief market leading settings. This is techie, and there's going to be best content, biggest clickbait. Should we talk about clickbait? I mean, have you ever been on YouTube, Zane? I'd love to make the titles just like Yuki Tsunoda said this, but that's boring and nobody would watch. Do you know what I mean? There were a gazillion content creators in the space, not just F1, but just more broadly on YouTube. And the fight for attention dollars is real. I make no apology for that, Zane. Thank you very much for asking. Oh dear. Alpine might have tried a few settings with DRS. Ends up going completely wrong though. Doohan seems caught out by the moment. He did seem caught out. Didn't seem like it was his fault, to be fair. I initially thought he'd put in the dry, if you put a wheel on the white lines, then you should be alright, right? For those who are just coming in, we are red flagged. Jack Doohan, cheeky off, big off in fact. Turn 1. Trying to understand what's gone on with that car. Saying you're a legend. I appreciate the pushback. That's what we're here to do, mate. Push back and challenge. Sometimes I might overstep you know what I mean? Sometimes I might infringe upon track limits, but I make no apology for that. Looking to be purple sectors in 2025. That's why I'm up here at 7:17 a.m. British Standard Time and 3 a.m. previously. Same thing again tomorrow. Trying to blaze an F1 trail. Doohan has never been good enough. I like Jack Doohan. I like the way he hustles it along, man. I don't think that's his fault, to be fair. I think this is a bit of an anomalous instance. How old is Jack Doohan? I want to say, isn't he like 20? I'm going to guess. I feel like I've heard once upon a time that he was like 24, maybe. He's older than Max, 24, 25 maybe. I'm guessing of us slightly here, but 22. Shoot. Jack Doohan's a lot younger than I thought. Blimey. And therefore he's got a lot more road in front of him than I first anticipated. Sir Cameron. He's the undisputed king. Too much. Too much. No, but T17 here in Canada. Jay Cooper, you're a legend and far too kind. Not a doctor, but I am a former athlete, and I think Doohan is seriously concussed from that crash and should probably be ruled out for the weekend. Great input, Jay Cooper, and very kind as always. Yeah, he looked like he was. I mean, he's a bidding impact first and foremost, and he looked like he was a little bit shaken in the walk back to the pits. He needed assistance. Right, dangerous that the wheel came off. It's a good shot. You've been too sentimental, Cam. Oh, did Doohan really look that bad? He looked. He was in a state. 1 a.m. I don't know if I could keep my eyes open. Hassan, embrace the sleep. Do you know what I mean? Let that sleep encapsulate you. Oh, dude, he's washed. Sucks, but he's cheap. He's doing washed. He's washed even a word. I mean, I know you use it colloquially. How can he be washed if he's 22 years old? To all the Sir Lewis Hamilton haters like Cam, I apologise to absolutely nobody. Put some respect on Sir Lewis Hamilton's name. True, Wayne. True. No, I get it. I think the Sir Lewis Hamilton thing is, I think it's Ferrari that's cheesing me off more than Sir Lewis, you know? I'll be honest with you. I think it's, look at this dude with the yo-yo. Do you guys remember when yo-yos were like the coolest thing ever? I tried to get my head around it, but it never, I just was like, it was a faux interest from your boy Cameron. I just didn't care enough. Didn't care. Yeah, no, I'm concerned about Ferrari more than Lewis. Lewis is in for a penny, in for a pound. You've heard him say that he has a faith ad infinitum in the boys and girls at Scuderia, but I don't know. I'm just not. I don't know. I want to see him win a race. Do you know what I mean? I want to see Lewis win a race and compete for championships, but I don't think any of that's very likely at the moment. I don't trust Ferrari, and I don't trust that car, SF25. Jacques Villeneuve on site. Get Jacques Villeneuve. You're roving reporter. Yeah, big impact, says Jacques Villeneuve. Enormous impact. Jacques Villeneuve, your man on the ground. Your roving reporter. Cameron CC, what's up, Cam and F1 fam, says Neil. Are we going to ignore the fact that Rio Hirakawa, a rally driver, beat Pierre Gasly in FP? But no, we're not. Everybody, you know, again, I'll defer to the experts on this one, Neil. Peter's been telling me about Hirakawa for the longest time. His principal point of contention was why is he not in the McLaren Junior Pro? Like, there's some questions about Hirakawa. My enunciation is very crazy today, chat. You're gonna have to forgive me. What's up with that flatbed doing a wheelie? I know. Later at this rate, we're not going to get a lot of running, are we? Hassan, red flag and sleep settings work in the morning. Do you mean in the morning, Hassan? In like 1.5 hours for your boy over here, like, and sleep is very thin on the ground. But I digress. I'm not going to moan. We've got ourselves F1. Do you know one of these ones where you're craving? Alex, you're a legend. 293 watching. Only 25, mate. Come on, can we get the lights up? Alex, you're a legend, by the way. Liam, the legend that is. Morning, Cam. You think that Max has told Red Bull he's leaving on Thursday, and there isn't any Schumacher versus Lewis pointless? I emailed you last night. I'll have a look, Liam. Promise. It's been a chaotic couple of hours, mate. I apologise for not getting back to you soon. Too kind as well, Liam. As always. Very rude to be yawning on camera, but you guys will forgive me. 304 of you watching concurrently. I want to show you guys my merch. Shall I try and get the mate? I'm obsessed with this bloody this Yuki Tsunoda design. God, I'm going to try and show you guys just quickly. I mean, if you like, not to like twist your arm or anything, but if you like yourself some merch, I mean, let's have a gander very quickly. I mean, how about that Yuki? How about that top? Come on. All on the Cameron F1 merch store. Oh, don't hate that at all. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears gone into that chat. Not to hijack your stream, but I mean, it's not a bad. Hope you like it. Let me know if you think it's fire or trash. Number 1 for fire. 2. But must do better, Cam. You guys let me know. Oh, the humanity, says JP. Yeah. You like it? No, I'm tell me the J. Yeah, I thought a lot went into that. What are we doing here, JP? 100% JP. What? Oh, the humanity. Yeah, no, Hassan, we went in on that one. I want all of the merch up to. I mean, there's loads of. That's a nice shirt. Yeah. Do you take Aussie? Yeah, RLJ. Don't discriminate, mate. If you want to get yourself one, then you can get over there. They come in one size dwarf. No. Any size that you want, small all the way through to. I'm not going to talk too much about, but yeah, no, you can jump on there. Number 1 Tsunoda Glazer. Oh, the chaos, Rafa. You like it, Jay? I'm glad that you guys like it. We put a lot to restart in 6 minutes. Yeah, we put a lot into that design. And there's more coming. We've got the cheeky Max Verstappen doing the Superman pose. There will be a Lewis Hamilton one at some point. But I want it to be like the merch needs to be snazzy. Bro, I'm gonna but Neve says, bro, I'm gonna big Cam. RLJ 300 Aussie. Gotta respect the commitment. Yeah, it's gotta be done. Turns out Max was just putting in mere mortal levels of driving, not superhuman. See, I don't know. What did you make of the Doohan crash? Initially, I thought it was Doohan's fault, but I don't think it was. In hindsight, looking back at it, it feels like Anthony D on the broadcast, the international syndicated broadcast, said he thinks it was the car botting. Man, it lost quickly. Scream a little louder when something happens. Can wake me. Says I know, JP. Oh, the humanity. It's gonna be chaos. It is going to be chaos, but no, a lot more merch coming. I was looking on other merch stores and I just didn't see anything that really. I want our merch to be market leading merch. That even if you're not an F1 fan, you might look at it and say, yeah, that's cool. Let me have some of that. And the merch that I had on the store in the first instance was, I was like, it's all right. It was all right, but it wasn't. The merch does look fantastic. Let's go, Kevin. I'm going to get some proper ones on there. That's the first of many. The Max, the Super Max one. Chaos. Going to be proper chaos, I'm telling you. Do I shall I show you guys this? Let me see if I can get that one up. Those of you in the Discord will have already seen it. But shall I show you guys this? Go on, let me go on. I'm gonna show you. What's for chilling out? How about that on a shirt, chat? What do you reckon? For the Max fans out there, what do you reckon about that on a shirt or a cup? Maybe I'd buy that. I know, it's flashy, it's techie. Because I mean, it's a depiction of a man, isn't it? We need some Ferrari hopium and copium. What have you got for us? Well, they're going to try and fix the car in the next couple of races. Max glazing now. Fuckers. This is great, Cameron. Watching along with 333 and your awesome self, of course. Beats watching with my cats and dogs. You're a legend. Take it away, says Late. Love it or hate it. Love it, says RLJ. Yeah, that's going to go on some t-shirts with a bit of a background. Make more on buying because it's sick. Let's go, Hassan. We need more good F1 merch. It's a nice touch. You're a legend, Hassan. I appreciate you saying that. I just think because there's just Supermax is in prison. Stop glazing Superrad, says JP. I just think that I don't see any merch in the space that I would buy that's just like cool. You know what I mean? That you just buy anyway, even if you weren't an F1 fan. But I digress. 307 of you watching concurrently. We are currently or no longer red flag circumstance, which is good. Which is good. All right, race control. We are restarting in T-1 minute's time. Track clear and ready. Let's go. I love the picture of all the bloody cars queued up in the garage with the red charging lights flashing. What's going on, Salvid? Pre-ordering that Max. Yeah, I need like that too much. I need like that. The Ferrari words. Oh yeah, that's a good shout actually. Bro forgot to turn off DRS. Unbelievable. Yeah, Hassan, that will drop soon. I'm just going to put to that Max design. I just want to get the orange mist behind him coming up from Sandvort. It will be good. Do you like the Sonoda one, Flashy? I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you do. I was indeed watching this morning, Rafa, at 3 o'clock British Standard Time. Oh, the humanity. Oh, where are you watching this? I am watching it on Sky Sports F1. The internationally syndicated broadcast. Max Paul's racing shirt design, yeah. Match. I know you'll be loving that one. It's gonna be good. When it finally hits, it's gonna be very snazzy. There'll be others as well. The loose one needs to come out. I just need to get more serious about it. For the longest time, I think I've been a Nicholas Latifi of a content creator, and I just want to get a bit more. Max, that boy, a bumper car driver. We need the humanity, 100% humanity is coming. CC, where can I find your merch shop? I will put in you should see it. To be fair, Alex, you should see underneath the video. There should be like a cheeky but I'll put a link in there. It's CameronF1store.com, but I will put a cheeky link in here. Here's the link. Yeah, that's on Foxtel. We did. Oh, the humanity's coming new match, I promise. So yeah, don't watch the rest of the merch. I'm revamping that. Nobody wants the Cameron logo's nice and sexy, but nobody. It's not sexy enough, is it? Right, let's talk about some F1-age because we have ourselves the resumption of a cheeky FP2. 360 of you watching concurrently. I'm grateful ad infinitum for each and every single one. The Manly, you like the Sonoda top. Sonoda, I'm proud. I'm glad that you guys like it. I need to change the bloody picture that's on the website because it looks a bit crumply and unironed. T-minus 28 minutes of FP2 now. And it's going to get techier than techie things. Your runners and riders, for the avoidance of doubt, you can't handle the truth. Russell on a 120. He looks pretty handy, doesn't he? 129.666. Is anybody here religious? Lewis Hamilton second, 129.950. Alonso, Hadjar, Tsunoda. It's a mixed up grid, right? Max Verstappen yet to set a time all the way down there, bottom in 20th. By dint of alphabetical order discrimination, eh? Go on then, Russell, Hamilton, Alonso, Hadjar, Tsunoda. I'm surprised that neither Lando, I suppose we've had a lot of time come off the board. These guys will be out there getting some Worldwide, indeed, Umanch. Worldwide, I think. Bro, pray to God you blow up on me, like, popularity-wise. JP, you're a legend. We'll get there in the end, JP. Sometimes you just got to roll up your sleeves, right, and get your elbows out and smash out the work. You got to just do the work. You are many things, but Latifi, you are nuts. Rate yourself out. Sometimes, Kevin, when I grow up, I'll normalise out for the Latifi stuff. Bro, that Piastri plushie is adorable. WTF. Did somebody say Max Glazing? Oh, right, you lot asked for it. Max, super. Let's go. I like my donuts with Max Glazing. Oh, brilliant. The Sonoda shirt. It's a sweatshirt, but I will put it on t-shirts as well. Nice gear, Wayne. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you're in it. Oh, the humanity's coming, OG Zilla. It has to. So another McLaren front. It looks like that, Wulong. When you look at the sector ones, excuse me. So I don't think there's any time that's we'll see at the end of this session, right? But if you use the sector 1 and 2 timings, the best ones in FP1, both of them belong to Lando and Norris. Bloody Nora, Charles Leclerc struggling to keep it on the island. It is the last chicane, isn't it, that people are struggling with. So sector 1, sector 2, Lando Norris was quickest of all. The only place where we struggled properly is sector 3 as Lewis Hamilton goes on a 129.95. Purple sector 2, eh? From Sir Lewis, somebody else beached. That is the old man Fernando Planalonso. Oh my gosh, red flag settings again. What are we doing here? What's the point? So go on then, to fill out the time, let me tell you what happened in FP1, because it doesn't look like we're going to... And by the way, just before Jack Doohan, this is why I'm cheesed off and had me swearing on camera. Just before Jack Doohan brought out the first red flag of FP2 even, Lando Norris was about to go purple. He was quickest through sector 2. His cumulative time, I would imagine, was quickest over sector 1, sector 2. But then Jack Doohan goes and brings out the red flag, and we don't get to see Lando Norris attack sector 3. If Lando can nail himself a sector 3, then McLaren have the whip hand that they are quickest of all. Here's how I know. Because when you look at the sector times in FP1, Lando Norris, sector 1, 30.820, session lead, gapping Fernando Planalonso to the tune nearly a tenth, just shy of a tenth. Lando Norris quickest in sector 2, 40.1, leading half a tenth to one King George Russell of Kingsley in Norfolk. And then sector 3 is the only one where McLaren were 4th and 10th in FP1. Piastri on a 57, that's lies, on a 17.5. And then Lando on a 17.621. I'd show you these. Listen, if you download yourself some Multiview, you can see all this stuff. Oh no, he's not been great, right? He's getting outperformed by the window licker himself. The Incredible Sulk, Lance Stroll. What are we doing here? Chaos? See the white line, what a dumber. I don't think it was the white line, Jay. Oh, sorry, we were talking about Alonso now. I thought we were still referring to the Doohan that Jacks. Let's have a look at this from Fernando. T-minus 23 minutes left on the docket. It's been a nothing session, eh? Not much to see here. Russell from Hamilton, from Alonso. Piastri, Leclerc, Hadjar, Tsunoda, Lawson, Stroll. No lap time currently set from 4 soon to be 5-time champion Maximilian Verstappen. Oh, the humanity. Oh, Rodney, you're a legend. If you're still here, thank you so much, Rodney, for the cheeky order, mate. Appreciate it. He hit the white line. I need to go and have a look at it. And then beach it like you make Lando. I think Alonso fell asleep at the... Oh, no, Yanni, don't say it. It's too wicked. Alonso should retire with Stroll. Oh, no. No. Say it's not so many years. 500,000 years old, isn't he? Bless him. And Father Time is undefeated, undisputed, irrespective of what Sir Lewis Hamilton extremists and Alonso extremists want to tell you. JP's gone. I don't hate it, JP, but we'll catch up tomorrow. Qualifying is going to be an important one, chap. At the very least, we'll be back for that one. T minus 22 minutes, 15 seconds left on the docket. FP2 said that it is a little bit, JP. I don't hate it. 4 soon to be 5. Oof. Ali, exactly what did Ali say? Lewis was 0.8 up in sector 2 before the red flag. Would have liked to see how that lap ended. Right, let me do something. I'm going to have a look. Right, let's do one of these quickly. Let me do a cheeky investigation. Oh, he was quick. Look at that. Bloody Nora. Lewis Hamilton was very quick. Holy smoke. Lewis Hamilton was quick. Look at that. The sector 2 time of Lewis was rapid. Yeah, Lewis was on one massively. Purple and mocha sectors are plenty through sector 2 from Lewis. Okay, so the best theoretical lap of Lewis is market leading, session topping on a 128.9. And that's if he just puts together his best sectors across the piece. As plays, 129.6 from Russell, 129.8 from Piastri. I think what you want to see is the big dogs, right? It's Lando and Verstappen that you want to see. So it looks like Lando's just about to come out. Okay. 128.9 is not a joke, though, Lewis Hamilton fans all around the world. As a theoretical lap time, it's not that he did it, but if you combine his best sectors of the session, assuming that he would have done something similar in sector 3, then that's none too shabby. You would argue, none too shabby at all. Timing. Did Alonso? No, it's Alonso. It's not. Yeah, 128.9 is nothing to play with. If Lewis can combo those times up, then Houston, we have a problem. Scuderia Ferrari could be in the fight for pole. Absolutely nobody said that. I wish they did stop the clock. I know, I agree with you, Marie, but the issue is it's only practice. We're talking about practice. What we took? Practice? Alan Iverson said famously once upon a time. 129.666, 128.9 though theoretical from Lewis. What am I doing it? Multi. And again, if you enjoy watching your F1 with some add value accompaniment in these metrics that you see to the left and the right of your screen. Oh my gosh, what's going on, chat? Like, this is not bumper cars. I know you want them to get a wriggle on, but chill out, mate. What are you doing, George? Stop chill out, George. Relax. Right. Yeah, if you enjoy what you see on the left and your right on your screen, subscribe to F1 TV Access, the basic package, and go and download yourself the app that is multi-viewer on a laptop or a computer, and you can get a gazillion. All of the stuff that I'm showing you is like, it barely scratches the surface as far as the metrics and data and information that you can get. Watch George trying. So George goes round the outside. And Max is like, no, I'm not having that, chap. You're not coming around the outside of me. George and Max having a cheeky dalliance. Do you know what I mean? Max was ensconced by George's full frontal. Full send from King George, eh? Oh, and by the way, Daniel Valente on Twitter. This is all important stuff. And again, I'm trying to give you the context. All that I care about is who's going to win ultimately the Japanese Grand Prix this weekend. And to do that, you need to look at long form, right? Not just who's quickest in absolute terms pace. You need to look at the race stints. Go and check out at F1 guy Dan, the one that they called Daniel Valente, a legend of the piece. And he reckons he's put together some facts and stats. He reckons that average long run pace, Lando Norris has the whip hand, doing 133.361 on average. Piastri 133.374 on average, as near as makes their difference. The two McLaren boys the same, barely a tenth or barely a hundredth to choose between them. Shortly thereafter, George Russell a 133.5, and then you've got Charles Leclerc on a 133.56, and then Lewis on a 133.7. That's long run pace. Charles Leclerc on a hot one. He's gone purple sector one. Let's pay attention to that. Aye. How do you like yourself some Scuderia Ferrari apples? I don't, just stop showing me the flipping stupid like front wing cam. Who cares? Give us the T cam. Internationally syndicated broadcaster have been nonsense. How's Yuki looking? I haven't seen a lot of him this session. He looked good into FP1 though. If you guys are just joining, bloody Nora, 1 second. Look at that. We spoke about the theoretical lap time, didn't we? Of Sir Lewis. It looks like Charles Leclerc's about to go 1 second faster. 129.6, currently the quickest in your time session. 128.6, there we go. Charles Leclerc goes a second quicker. Ferrari have pace again all of a sudden. Verstappen washed, says later. Woody at it again, being chaotic, eh? How very dare you, Jay? How very dare you? Ferrari chat GPT, how to make the car quicker. That's too funny, monsters for. Go on then. George Russell says, I'll have some of that, Charles Leclerc. 128.567. Top of your timing sheet yet again. OG Zilla George is terrorizing. Nothing if not. Woody at it again. Slowly but surely. Do you know one of those ones? He's Hajar. Oh my gosh. 128.5. Look at this. Everybody's going for it now. Get your quick lap times in. Chat, OJ Piastri's on a hot one. That moniker will never die, will it? I'm going to keep using it. Liam Lawson goes up to third. Oh, the humanity. The goat on top, says Selvin. Hajar 128.5. And Lewis Hamilton is obviously you're talking about there with a 128.544. Cameron Jr. apparently wants to get himself a bit of FP2 action. Bloody Nora, there's a Lando Norris. Do you see that, chat? Look at that. Goes four tenths down the road from Isaac Hajar and everybody else. There's a Lando Norris 2.0. Don't be silly. Another red flag, surely. Yeah, sack this session off. Max signs for V-Carb. What's going on? Who's in the... What's going on? Who's beached? Oh, it's a horse. The horse of... What? Have we just got a red flag because of fire? AJ Piastri is a kid. Yes, 23. Yuki better than, or Lawson better than Yuki. It has been proven. Wow. What you want to amend for is your vehicular circumstance. Different cars means different things to different people, eh? Clearly, it looks like Tsunoda-san is better equipped to push and optimize for an RB21, a fire-breathing dragon of an RB21, than his old mate Liam Lawson, clearly. Maybe Liam Lawson's quicker in the racing bulls, but... We've just got... The grass has just caught on fire. I'm okay with a red flag if there are people on the track. 100% later. Hamilton's floor again. Whoa. Won a championship in the third quickest car. Good day. What's going on, Kayla? Good day. Good day. Good day, mate. Good day. Good day, mate. I'll work on it, Kayla. I'll get there. Good morning. What's going on, Outlaw? I hope you're good. Red flag circumstance. A chaos of an FP2 session, but I think we have a normalisation in that Lando Norris currently tops the timing sheet on a 128.163. That matters. The MCL39 is rapid, quicker than quick things. And again, this means a lot, right? If you consider that the MCL38 lot was medium speed turns. Around Suzuka, the challenge is medium and high speed moreover. If MCL39 in the hands of either Lando or Oscar can drop it on pole to the tune of 3/4 tenths, then Houston, we have a problem. This is becoming normalised behaviour. Therefore, from McLaren, gapping the rest of the pack to the tune of 3 or 4 tenths. That's chaos, chat, I will say, for the avoidance of that big, big chaos. What are we doing here? 447 of you in the chat can currently do me a favour, smash the like, please. Every little bit helps. It matters. The Japanese contingent out in force to see their guy, their hero, take after Gansan, and their heroes of yesteryear, Tsuchiya-san, Hattori. Do you know what I mean? Japan is surrounded by water. Hydrate the grass. Fair play. Hajar Nelly won F2, yeah. He did indeed. I've been quite disparaging about Isaac, and he's shut my mouth up, hasn't he? I've got to take 2 seats on the back of Isaac Hajar's performance in the first two and a third Grand Prix weekends. Like, he's not been bad at all. At all. And again, I've thought that he was too brittle mentally, too temperamental vocally. And he's coming and he's like, do you know what I mean? So Baxley, to be fair, told me that Isaac Hajar would do the business. And I was like, Baxley, what do you want about? All F1 aficionados and the Red Bull crew, every time he's jumped in an F1 car, they don't rate him. I suppose one of those ones, you know, when they say that like an F1, a God tier F1 driver, as they're on the come up, before they're great, whilst they're on the journey, that they'll show you 1 or 2 things, and the discerning eye amongst you, as far as the F1 community, will spot it. Do you remember Isaac Hajar in the tunnel, that Monaco one, where he had that fellow at Iwasa in front of him, and he's come round the corner blind, and then all of a sudden he's had to like flick to the left. If indeed you're going to take that as anecdotal evidence of anything, you can take it as evidence of the fact that Isaac Hajar not necessarily has what it takes, but as far as his reactions, like the brass tacks, does he have what it takes to be a racing driver? Not a champion, but just a racer. Abso-flipping-lutely. Wouldn't be able to do. I would have been into the back of Iwasa at that time, or Miata even, sorry. No chance. No. And my reactions wouldn't have coped. But again, the track is closed. Fire from the grass is crazy. Never heard of him, Wayne. If you saw Hajar set, oh, there we go, Evo. Great minds. I promise you, Evo, I didn't know that you were talking. Yeah, it's a brilliant save. It is a brilliant save. Cam, that tunnel move was just Jedi's. It was Jedi settings. And I mean, you got to take him, when somebody shows you who they are, you got to believe them the first time, eh? Come on, let's resume this session. T minus 7 minutes, 48 seconds left on the docket. We get a couple of laps left in. I don't know. Leave the grass on fire. Extra entertainment. D. There is a fine line between sport and sports entertainment, and one that I don't think we need to cross any more frequently than we have done already. Miss RS in the house. Good day. Good afternoon, beautiful people. Just got home from work. What did I miss out on? In summary and synopsis, Miss RS, you missed out on a god tier session from Tsunoda-san in FP1. He looks quicker than many people thought he would do. Closer to Max Verstappen. They both went out and were doing blisteringly quick hot laps. Max Verstappen was only a tenth and a half, I want to say 0.15, faster than his brand new teammate, the one they call Tsunoda-san. That's your headline. So too, as far as long runs, it seems like we are as we were. That McLaren have the whip hand. Quickest of all were Lando and Oscar Jack. That matters. And then as far as the hypothetical best times in absolute terms of performance, again, McLaren have the whip hand all over the shop. Long runs anywhere between 0.3 and 0.4 quicker than the rest. And the same again in terms of absolute qualifying pace. It's going to get techie. Going to need, although Ferrari looked fast too, but bloody Nora. I mean, you guys will excuse me, how rude of me, but it is 8 a.m. UK time. And I'm a bit disappointed in Alonso too. Kayla, Miss RS, you're a legend. Who much have been busy? Good, thanks. And you, sir. Cat Life reaction says King of Nuts. Right, we have T-minus 5 minutes left on the docket. And we have cars out on track. 128.163 is the session lead. Lando Norris, MCL39. I hope that these guys can fight. I hope that Oscar can keep Lando honest, and I hope that the likes of Red Bull, Ferrari and Mercedes can iterate for their current designs, right? Because otherwise we might have ourselves a bit of a 1989 type scenario, which was a brilliant season, by the way, but very processional as far as dominance. What is George doing? George is just being like reckless at this point. Like, what are you doing, George? You're all over the shop. This is messy. This is George 1.0 now. What are you like? Stop getting yourself involved. What time is the race? The race, Kayla, kicks off, I want to say at 4 a.m. British Standard Time. So I don't know what that translates to for you. The race will kick off at... Tell a lie. The lights out for the race is at 6 a.m. on the Sunday. British Standard Time. You'll have to convert that, Kayla, because I reckon, Kayla, that will be like 7 p.m. your time, maybe. I'm guessing 8 p.m. maybe your time. The race is 2 p.m. Kayla. There you go. I know not about what I talk. By Spain, hopefully Spain new technical directive. Hopefully the field will close up a little bit. Hopefully. But I don't know, I'm inherently sceptical, a natural born contrarian. What's Umount saying? When is he not being one? Oh gosh, Max. You guys really hate George, eh? Oh dear. No love for George Russell. Go on then, let's get some hot laps. Oh my gosh, Charles Leclerc struggling sector 3 again. It's the chicane. Oh. Let's see where Charles puts this. Currently sits in 7th. Stays in 7th. Lando, sector 2, purple. Let's see how Lando goes. 128.1. Oof, 128.1 from Oscar. Let's have a look at Lando as he crosses the line. Can he go quicker than Oscar Jack Piastri? Probably. 127 point something, I'm thinking. Oh no, look, he's flopped sector 3 again. So the big question, right, out of sessions 1 and 2, FP1 and 2, sector 3 from McLaren. Can Lando nail himself a sector 3? If Lando can nail sector 3, I think he's gone. I think he's got it in the bag. Look at that. He's a tenth and a half up on Oscar in the second sector alone. Flat as near as makes no difference. Yeah, they're all struggling sector 3. That chicane's going to... Because I think as much... I mean, it differs in terms of its aspect, doesn't it? Sector 3, the chicane, etc. But I think if you spent the whole lap doing medium and high speed and then they've just got this bloody chicane at the end of the lap, it's a cerebral dexterity as much as anything. You're kind of in the flow and it's maggots and it's like 130R and do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you've got to jump on the brakes and thread the needle through the chicane with all this like it's techie. It's techie to solve for that. George squeals too much over the radio, says Time Flight. FP2, so I know it's not been great, Aaron, to be fair. George is a friend of the FIA, hence my enemy. Ah, my friend. That can't watch the race family outings. I don't hate it, Kada. You've in real life is always the priority. You only get one. And lifetime, some say, is a finite resource. Max Yellow sector's washed. Oh no. He is yellow, look at that. Nothing from Sonoda-san either. Are they doing they're on long runs, that's why I think Max is getting some simulation runs in. I would guesstimate, hence the yellows. They put some fuel in the car and they're just going long. I would guesstimate. That Red Bull is very sexy. Max Verstappen doing full Drift King settings. Understeering everywhere, says Mr. Verstappen. Understeering everywhere. Over humanity. Same old, plus change, as they say. The more things change for Red Bull, the more things stay the same as far as the handling dynamic of that RB21. Keen to see how Yuki Tsunoda solves for that, or tries to at the very least. 128.1 is your session lead by one Oscar Jack Piastri. Too much flassy any flipping time, sir. OG Zilla. Looks like high fuel runs agreed. On mediums. Yeah, no. Max is struggling. He's not happy, is Max. He's not happy at all. The chicane is really taking a toll on these cars. A fire again. What's going on? Cut the grass. So how are they gonna? Well, red flag session again. Yeah, just call it off. No, it's long. There was only 2 seconds on the clock anyway. Just red flag it. Red flag and get the fire department out to try and. Oh my gosh! Look at the way it's like. Wow. Yuki 18th, love to see it. He didn't even get a timing, did he? Not a proper one. Yeah, they need to be careful of that. They might have it. Houston, they might have a problem. Who predicted Max P1? What say you? Says Benzi. I mean, P1 in the race, I told you there'd be another red flag. You did indeed. It's, Lawson over Sonoda says Slipstream. Oof. The wind is 24.5 kilometers. Techie. Although so long as they're on the black stuff, not saying this tongue in cheek at all, but for so long as they're on the black stuff, they'll be all right, right? Can the fire can't come onto the track, can it? Or maybe I'm being stupid. Ignore me. Someone water the grass. Yeah, they're going to need to water the grass overnight, aren't they? Good morning, gents. Get some sleep. This is a wash. Adrian, I concur, Sir Hamilton. This is an omen. Someone pay the water bill. I'll tell you what's an omen. The fact that George Russell earlier was on like a 20... Was he on a 128.666? Not that I'm superstitious. Right, guys and girls, you guys have been legends. Do me a favour. If you haven't gotten on the merch, get onto the bloody store. There is a link in the description. There is a Yuki Tsunoda top that I would argue is the best piece of merch in the space. Very, very sexy. Go and get yourself a sweatshirt. You guys are legends. Thank you to each and every single one of you. Support the channel. Fact check me. Call me out of my bull feathers of the F1 variety each and every single time. We'll be back. 10 a.m. we probably won't do, but we'll be back at 8 p.m. to do the Friday show, dissecting for all of the salient bits and pieces, of course, as per usual. And we'll be back for FP3 and Quali Live and the race stream as per usual. You guys are legends. Thank you so much for joining. Between now and the next time we meet, the prosecution rests. No further questions, Your Honour.